Hello, everybody. Today is February 12th, excuse me, 12:30 Mountain Time, 12:30 p.m. Mountain Time, and we are in our last final live session for the week for the mod 1 of 2019. So we are not going to waste any time today. We're going to go over the assignment and the assessment for this week. I'm going to do a demo of the assignment. And if I have time, I'll do another couple of critiques. I did not have that many more submissions than I did yesterday, unfortunately, so I don't have a lot to work with. And I'll probably go over the career integration quiz as well. So let us get started. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. So today we're talking about your online portfolio, and we are discussing in the discussion what the importance behind a portfolio is and why you need to have it, why you need it to be professional, why you need it to be visible. Excuse me. So we're going to talk a little bit about that information right here. So why create an online portfolio? First of all, we want you to showcase your work, or you want to showcase your work. You want to feature the types of projects that you are putting out there to show future employers and clients. So you can show your ability, your skills, and your style. To let potential employers know you are available. A lot of online portfolio sites also have job search engines, both for employers and for people actually looking for work. So it's a good way to know, to let people know that, hi, I'm available. This is the type of stuff I do. Contact me if you're interested in my work. To build a network of resources, collaborators, and clients. I had mentioned in yesterday's session that not only can you be looking for clients and future potential employers out there, but you can also find other artists to work with, to follow, to kind of get ideas. You can also locate different forums and groups, just so that people can kind of help each other, pass along work when it's not the right project for them, excuse me, gain ideas when there's a question, that kind of thing. Provides a great first impression to employers. This is important simply because it shows employers that you are ready and that you are professional, that you have put in the time and effort into creating something to showcase your work, that you feel that you are important enough and confident enough in your work that you are willing and able to show people. It also actually shows employers, it kind of gives them an idea of the kind of work you produce before you even have that interview, and a lot of the time that can actually snag the interview for you. So some benefits behind the portfolio. I also mentioned yesterday, it's constantly working for you by increasing your visibility. So whether I am in New England, on the on the West Coast, out in Asia, but down in Antarctica, it is out there on the web for anyone with internet access to be able to find. You can also actually change your visibility so that there are profiles that there are private. They can only be seen if you send a link out. There may even actually be portfolio sites that you can limit your visibility so that they can see certain things, but not everything. So depending on kind of where you want to go there. I personally keep everything public, and I just am selective about the items that I upload in the first place. Excuse me, because the more visible and the more accessible your work is, the more people are going to find you, and the better chance you're going to have at finding work. Goodness, I'm sorry, my allergies are really bothering me today. It's flexible. That's huge. Not only because it's flexible for you, for building your work, you can pretty much whenever upload work, download work, delete work, edit the work. You know, if you decide you currently have, I don't know, 2 really large albums of work and you decide you want to break it up into 5, you can very often do that without a problem. And typically you can actually do it within minutes. Once you put aside the time and energy to initially create your portfolio, it is after that, it's simply a matter of maintaining, and making edits is not that time consuming, which is really, really great. And a lot of these sites, they have mobile versions. So if you happen to have something on your smart device that you want to make sure you upload before you forget, you can very easily do that. You don't necessarily have to wait until you get home and you're on your computer and whatnot. It's also flexible on the other side for that client, for that potential employer, for other people also to show your work, because you don't need to be available in order for them to see your work. You don't have to be dropping off a printed copy. When you go to your interview, if your potential employer hasn't had a chance to look at your work, whether it be the resume that you sent in or the link that you had already mentioned that is your portfolio site, they could potentially look it up right there. So it's very quick and flexible, fast, easy. So it's really beneficial in terms of ease. Keeps you organized and up to date. Absolutely does both of these things. Keeps you up to date because when you are upkeeping with your portfolio, you're constantly looking at your older work, and very often, not always, but very often, your oldest work is not your best work. The longer that you are in the industry, the more projects you do, the more you learn, hopefully, and as a result, you'll look back on some of your older stuff and think, oh God, I can't believe that was really awesome. Very often you'll do that. There will be plenty of instances. I know that I do have a few pieces of my work from when I very, very first started, like almost 2 decades ago, both in fine art and in digital art, so that I do keep up there. And that is 100% okay. You just want to make sure that you're always comparing your new work and your old work, your new work against your new work, your old work against your old work, to make sure that the pieces that you are selecting in your portfolio are the best professional quality that you absolutely can be up there. It also kind of reflects trends. So I might have something that was from 4 years ago when all black and white art was really, really popular, which that's not necessarily a thing. I'm just spouting out ideas. And then you kind of get to 2019, 2030, 2045, whatever, and you've been in the industry for a while and you realize, oh geez, that looks so dated. So it helps you kind of reflect things, because sometimes trends, they will make your work look unappealing simply because of the fact that they have gone out of style. So that kind of keeps you constantly looking at and refreshing and cycling through your work. Keeps you organized because it keeps you thinking as to how you want to display your work. I have mine in different categories for media and applications. So, and by applications, I don't mean software applications. I mean the applications of the artwork, how it was used. And I'll show you that in a little bit. So it kind of gets you thinking on how you would be exhibiting this information to other people, and as a result, keeps you organized so other people are easily able to maneuver their way through your site. Provides resources for research. I have mentioned a number of times already, you can be following other designers, you can find forums, you can find groups, and then even individuals themselves, if once you get into those forums or those groups, will share information as well. I didn't stumble upon the stock photo and vector resources, although I very easily could have just Googled them. These were items that I have been either directed to or have been as a result of something that I was already directed to. So you can find different places to find, great free art, different places to find art that's even better that you might have to pay for. Font sites. I know that I found a font tool engine, if you want to call it that. It's a font identifier that I was told through some coworkers. So all of these different things are as a result of other coworkers and colleagues and collaborators, such as people that actually were on these sites. It draws employers in by providing visuals of your experience. Like I mentioned in the last slide, it will provide the employers with an idea of your style. We've been talking a little bit about the styles of the different eras and the styles of the different artists. You might notice that in a lot of your work you have a particular color palette that you like to use, or you maybe use decorative borders a lot, and that will change depending on the project that you're working on. This will kind of give the employers an idea of whether or not you would be fitting for them. And it may not necessarily be that they don't like your work. It may just be that they, at this particular time, is not what they're looking for. And then you might find someone else that's exactly what they're looking for. They're going to use you for 100% of their work. Maybe even the first employer kind of keeps you in the back of their mind, and then 3 months down the road remembers one of the pieces that they saw and it fits a particular project that they have, and then they come back to you. So kind of gives them an idea without having to put in too much energy, which employers love to do that. So examples of online portfolio sites, we will be using, these are a couple of the different logos for them. We're going to be talking about Behance today, which is associated with Adobe, obviously. CorelFlow is another one that I'll actually show you, because I'm not going to go too far into it because that's not technically what we're going to be working with, but I do want to show you the difference. Dribble with 3 Bs is another one that I believe it might have been James Joyce that one of the other students had actually mentioned in their discussion last week, and provided some insights on that. So good job there. So we have, like I said, we have Behance, which is behance.net, dribble.com, and make sure to remember that there are 3 Bs in that. I didn't notice that the first time I saw it. coreflow.com, which is this one right over here. Adobe Portfolio, which is portfolio.adobe.com, and you can actually do this right from your Behance site. I will actually kind of walk through that. I've only ever actually done that once, and if I have time, I will go through that as well. Kind of creates it automatically from your Behance site, which is great, so it's not like you have to upload anything extra. And then another one is carbonmade.com, and these are just some examples, some of the top ones. We have we have our little link down here, which obviously it's a long URL, and you can do just Google searches on other portfolio sites. If you go and you finished your Behance site and you want to kind of explore a little bit to see what some other sites provide, because there are different services, there are different features that some of these sites will use that others won't use, and if you want to look a little bit more into that, you are more than welcome to do so. So, what should your portfolio contain? Obviously, you want to do examples of your work. And I always suggest to watermark your images wherever you can. The reason why I mention this, is just to protect yourself. I have and actually I don't have, oh, it's all white there. Yeah, that's not going to show up. It's just, like I said, it's just to protect yourself. It is very easy for people to steal work, which is one of the, I think, many reasons that some people decide that they don't want to put their information out there. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. They're afraid that people are going to steal their work. They're going to steal their ideas, and unfortunately, it is a. Oh, sorry, I've got this thing popping up here. I double-clicked on it by accident. So it is, like I said, it is an unfortunate reality of the industry, excuse me. So you want to try to make sure that you protect it as much as you can. I typically keep a little PDF or a Photoshop file of my watermark, and I can just drop it in. Once this finishes loading, I will actually show you how I have it in an example and I just drop it into the image and then save it again as a JPEG or whatever, and then upload it that way. It's quick, it's easy, and it's something on there that indicates that it is your property, your mental property, and that no one else is allowed to use it without, you know, express written condition. There we go. So examples of your work, your contact information, you want your people, your clients, your employers to be able to contact you, whether it is through phone, text, email, your Facebook page, you know, what have you. My goodness, I just updated all of my Adobes last night, and this is just running awfully slow. There we go. A little bit of information about yourself. Try to give a little bit of background. It doesn't have to be a lot, or you can, you know, give them your entire bio if you like. Something, you know, try to pick some things out that either show your professionalism, give a little bit of information about your personality, maybe what makes you stand, maybe what makes you stand out as opposed to other people, maybe your likes and dislikes, maybe that's actually what's going to make you stand out. And their background information such as your schooling or your work, there is definitely places on these different sites where you can put your resume, you know, all like lots of information like that, so people can get an idea of what kind of work and who you are. Testimonials, if you've got them, are great. Whenever you have some sort of testimonial from a client or former employer, future employer, current employer, that's always a testament to your work and your work ethics. So that's always really beneficial, because it's not just you trying to boast about yourself, it is someone else saying, yes, I have used their services, or I have seen their services in action, they're great, you want to use them. Oh, come on. There we go. And actually, before I even do that, I'm going to pull this over real quick. This is just an example. This is one of proof that I did for a client of mine, baby shower invitation with a couple of different cards that went with it. And this right here is my my watermark. And like I mentioned, I keep it as a Photoshop file, and I'll even show you. Here we go. Oh, come on. I have these right here. One of them is vertical, one of them is horizontal, because sometimes one or the other doesn't work. And I actually have them, I think I have it as a, well, let's pull it up. Okay, so it's black, and then as I use them sometimes, see, it's purple right here. As I use it, sometimes I'll make it white if I have to, if it's a dark image. And I'll play around with the opacity a little bit so that you can still see it, but it's not detracting from the rest of the image. So it's a very quick thing to do, and it is very beneficial in trying to protect your mental property and your sanity. So when is your portfolio complete? And unfortunately, the answer is never. Your portfolio is never complete, because it should always be growing. It should be a living, breathing thing. If you consider your portfolio to be complete, then that means you're not growing, and you don't want that. You want to make sure that you are always learning, you're always growing, you're always researching, you're always working with the trends and the styles of the time. And you know, life is constantly in a state of perpetual motion, so you want to make sure that this is as well, because this is going to be reflecting the stuff that you are putting out there currently. So the fact that it is never complete, don't worry about it. I haven't updated my portfolio in a couple months. Not going to kill me, and I know that. Especially since I have a lot on there already. It is very easy to put lots of stuff up there initially, and you feel like, oh my God, this is never going to be done. Don't worry about that, because that's not the way it will be forever. You will eventually get to a point where you have a good amount of work in there, and then it's just a matter of tweaking it here and there. So don't be afraid of that. So we have now been in here for 25 minutes or so, I think, and we're going to do one final secret question for the mod. How many cards are given on Valentine's Day each year? Just think about that for 1 second. And the answer is about 1 billion Valentine's Day cards are exchanged each year, which makes it the second largest seasonal card sending time of the year. I believe the first one is Christmas, although it didn't actually specify on that website that I was looking at, which is right down here. So if you wanted to take a look and see what the other 24 interesting facts about Valentine's Day are and see if you could find that information, maybe I skipped over it. But so that's that. We have Valentine's Day coming up in 2 days. Hope everyone's gotten their stuff ready. So now let us go to our demo. Oh, you know what? Actually, before I even do that, probably want to do the instructions. Okay, so our demo is for assignment number 4. There we go, which is putting together your online professional portfolio. You're actually going to even start out, we're going to actually go backwards a little bit. We're going to start out with the assessment because it says it's the assessment. I can't go over it step by step, but I can mention that your assessment, just as a reminder, is you taking your week 3 poster draft and applying all the feedback that I have provided to you, making those revisions, and then you will be, that is going to be your assessment. That's your one upload. Excuse me. So you're saving it with the typical file naming convention and saving the poster either as a PDF from Illustrator or a PDF from InDesign. You do not need your mood board. I only need the poster itself. If you need to work with the mood board to try to continue working with the style, that's fine, but your submission does not need the mood board. I only need the poster. Let's see what we have for the benchmarks. Okay, I think we probably remember this was the poster draft from week 3 from the benchmark that we saw there. And same thing here. So you see how they don't actually have any mood boards attached to them. Okay. So the reason why I say start there is because you're actually going to be uploading your poster as your first upload for your portfolio. So essentially, if you do your poster first, then you can boom, boom, almost, do both things right at the same time. So we're going to go back to the assignment. And we are going to be creating the Behance site, completing your written profile and uploading a picture, making sure everything is professional. You're going to be taking that revised poster that I just mentioned, see for how it says which you created for assessment 4, that's going to be your first upload for your portfolio. And you're going to consider 3 questions, or it says presented in the background, to ensure that your work is quality. These are the 3 questions. Is the work free from spelling errors, and does it contain high resolution imagery that is clear and crisp? You don't want to upload something that's low res so that your clients can't see it. That's not a good impression. Is there an element of this piece that's particularly important, and if so, how can I show a variety of views that show this element? You could maybe do some close-ups, or if you in the future are doing some kind of packaging, you could maybe take several shots of the packaging itself from several angles, and then maybe your flat layout, the template. Would it make sense to include a physical mock-up of this piece to give it better context for outsiders? This is actually kind of what I was just saying. So those 2 questions kind of in one. So once you upload your piece, you've created your project, you upload your piece, you're going to submit the URL to the site in the comments of the assignment so that I can go to it. And you can upload the poster one more time in your assignment. In addition to that, please email the link to your FPA, and you will CC me on it so I can make sure that you are emailing your FPA. If you don't know who it is, let me know. I actually have a list of everyone's FPAs, so I can make sure to give that information to you. So then we have, again, the submission requirements. Take the finished and revised poster from week 4 and export it as a JPEG. That is what you're going to upload. If you create some kind of mock-up before you do it, you can mock that up as a JPEG as well. Create the new project on the Behance site, which I already mentioned. Upload all the images to the project along with a short written description. Submit a link to the URL in the comment area of the assignment, and then email the two of us, the FPA and the instructor. So everything I've just reiterated a couple of times here. So let us get going. We now have a little over a half an hour. Before we actually do that, because that is essentially mine. Give me just a second. I'm just pulling this over. Okay, so this is an example of a portfolio site that has been completed already. This is my portfolio on Behance. And as you can see, I have a lot of different images right here on the front page. And this is because, like I had mentioned, this is, I've broken them down by media and applications. So I have sports photography, web design, print advertisers, social media advertisers, fashion lines, corporate logos and brand identity, high-res photos, photo editing. I mean, I have done a lot of very different work in the last almost 20 years. So I like to make sure that I include a little bit of everything, and then I actually will direct my client towards a particular album or albums, depending on what it is they're looking for. The only one that I have that is slightly different is this one. This is actually one large project because there was a lot of work that went into it, and I was the designer that worked with this fashion designer. I was the one that actually put together all of the work and had to adhere to very, very specific brand guidelines for the FIFA World Cup that year. So all of these go together, and that is why it's like that. So if you're working on, let's say, a particular website that has 20 different pages, you want to use all those different pages in your portfolio, when you get to that point, that's fine. If you're, doing a lot of media blasts from one client, that's fine as well. Just you can try to come up with some way of organizing it that is a logical manner. And you can see on the left-hand side here, I'll go through all this stuff. We have work experience, little description, my contact information, and whatnot. And I have other little links here that can bring me or bring the client to my other pages. And that, because I'm not logged in here is why it's doing that. How about, here we go. Nope, can't do, oh, look at that. I have a broken link. Again, that's probably also because I am not signed in there either. But I'm going to have to investigate that now. This is actually another reason why it's really good to make sure that you're always watching and always updating your profiles to make sure that everything is up to date. So here we have a couple of different things here. This is the Instagram that I use, so kind of a variety of different things, obviously. And this right here, just to kind of give you an idea, this is the CoralFlow one. Very same work, and I typically keep it laid out the same way, using pretty much the same cover photos for the site itself, for the individual albums, and their captions as well. Let's see, where is it? For example, right here. Oh, sorry about that. There we go. And the reason why I do that right here, okay, the reason why I do that is I like to have at least a couple of different resources in the event that one of them happens to go down, which is not, it's not that it's common by any means, but it is not strange. It's not unusual for something like that to happen. And in the event that something like that does happen, I have backups. I have actually set up my Facebook page the exact same way. I'm still working on my website here, but I essentially have them all set up very similarly so that I always have something to direct my clients to. So let us get started. First off, you are going, oh, wait a minute, that is not what I wanted wanted to do. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, that is what I want to do. Sorry, I just closed out the wrong one. Okay, so this is the, essentially the view that you would have as an employer. When you get started, you're going to hit sign in. You're going to create your information. If you don't already have an Adobe ID, so you put in your email address, your password, or you can use your Adobe ID to fill this out. We probably already have it because, or you folks probably already have it through IU. Okay, you can give that a try. Once you have signed in, we are going to, first we're going to set up our profile. Okay, and you're going to have all of this information on the left-hand side. This is what we're going to focus on first. Okay, you can, first of all, upload your, oh, actually it just brought me right to the entire profile here. You can actually go right down this line. As you scroll down, you're going to notice this left side, the blue is actually going to click down. Okay, so you can just start up at the top and work your way down. Name, title, location, website if you have it, any teams. And these are different accounts that I have. I really should create a Dribble account now that this is up here as well, because I obviously don't have one. But you saw that on the left-hand side there, I did have those little avatars there for these so that other people can check out the rest of my work, my tweets, my Facebook, whatever. I have a little bit of information on my business, and here is my work experience, which is essentially just a modified, abridged version of my resume. And actually, yep, I did. I was going to say, I wonder if I have my IU stuff on there. And here are a couple of other websites, and I personally, until my website is 100% exactly how I would like it, which very well may never be like that, I am probably always going to have it say under construction because I'm always working on it. And here's just another little section if you wanted to add something else, which I'm kind of all set with that, but that's okay. Okay, so once you are all set with that information, because you can, once you go in and you edit your experience, it should have a little save area. Oh, you know what? Actually, I think this is one of the ones that actually saves automatically. You'll probably see up here, it'll show you, okay, information saved, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, because I don't have a button here. Okay, so that's that information, and I'm trying to look for the URL. It's probably under settings. Yes, I believe it is. We're going to take a look at settings real quick. This is not the profile. This is, oh goodness, this is under settings. And you can actually customize your information here, your email notifications to help you look for projects or any kind of notifications when people like your project or what have you. If you want to subscribe to the newsletter, you can also actually, which I liked when I saw this, you can actually customize your URL. So I have www.behance.net/PSG, that's for Purple Spider Graphics, 14. 14 was my number from all the different sports that I did, and I was born on April 14th, so that's my number. So it's easy for me to remember. And then you have blocked users if you ever decide to delete your account, which if you're a designer, I would not recommend doing that. So you go through and indicate whichever options you want to opt into. So now we're going to start out by doing a project. And I think I'm actually just looking at, oops. This is, I think, the one that I'm going to put up today. So what you would want to do is you would want to start out by going to, oh, I'm sorry, I clicked the wrong one. Sorry about that. To create a project. And I'm going to upload like the octopus I just showed you there. go into my, I have a little folder that I actually like to keep organized. I have my folder here that tells me what things I have left to upload. And this was a card that I partially hand drew, partially digitally edited, and put it together that way. So I have uploaded my file. I'm going to add some text to it. And Pop Tops card, hand drawn, digitally enhanced. And actually, I'm going to edit that one more time. Oops. For local artist. And you can actually, you can see that all I did was click down there, but you can also, you can add your caption, you can edit. If you have like a whole bunch of them, let me grab a whole bunch of them just to kind of show you what I'm talking about. You'll notice that they all kind of, whoa, goodness, they all fly. They're really dark right now because they're still loading. And the reason why I haven't uploaded these yet is because I obviously have some things that are upside down and need to be fixed. And they're also really kind of big. I want to actually shrink them down a bit so it's more like this right here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of text in here real quick, just so I can show you the changes that I'm going to end up making. That caption. Come on. Where are you? There you are. And I'm going to get rid of this one so that if it does actually publish, it doesn't actually go out there. I mean, if I don't have these 100% perfect, not a big deal. So now I have a little bit of text in my captions. I'm actually going to copy that and I'm going to delete that. So you can see what I just did there. I had the option to delete it. So I actually did that. I could also replace the image if I decided to with something different. Okay. Now, what I wanted to show you by including this text in here, you can actually edit the styles as a group instead of just going one by one. So if I wanted to just type in all my text and then I wanted to change it a little bit, I can do that. So I'm going to put captions because that's what I have in here right now. The initial text that I put in there that was big, I believe, was the header. And then you have small headers, you have paragraphs, captions. So I'm going to use Bookman Old Style just so I can show you guys what is being changed here. So we have 20. Let's go purple. So there we go. And I want to make it bold, I think, just because. Okay, I'm actually also going to put this in the center. Oh, no, I'm not, because that's nowhere near centered like I want it to. So I'm going to just keep it on the left, have it all on the left-hand side, and be done with that. So you can go through there and you can actually change all of them in one quick swoop. See, look at that. They're all changed. And if I wanted to actually do it one more time, if I wanted to, oh no, that doesn't look the way I want it to, let me instead let's go green instead, and I want it underlined. When I go back up, you're going to notice it's all green and underlined. Okay. So now that we have a few images, we're going to save it simply because I want to make sure it's all set, just like I do with the rest of my work. I'm going to continue on. And we have a cover image that we can choose. I can choose any one of the ones that are in here. Actually, it's only giving me 2 for some reason. Oh, you know what? Probably because the other one is, yeah, the others are vertical. I'm going to try to crop this a bit. Let me see, how do I want to do that? I don't want to put the date in there, so I'm going to even... No, I don't like that one. There we go. Actually, I like that way that crops out better. So you can try a couple of different ones, see what it looks like, if it's in this way, if it's out, if you want to slide it to the side, however you want however you want to move it. And I'm going to just put DES109 example portfolio. You can name it whatever you'd like. If you're going to compile all of your work from one individual class, if you're doing a lot of screen print work, if you're putting together a lot of print layouts, you know, try to figure out, like I said, a logical way of categorizing your work. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I was actually recording. For some reason, I kind of had a brain fart there. So now we're going to go through the settings, and okay, what did we use? We used Photoshop. It's going to come up. You're going to see a lot of tools come up. I used Photoshop Illustrator. I don't know if maybe pen. Oh, look at that. There we go. Pen, colored pencil, because the octopus was kind of a combination of different things. Photography, because the let's see, my Nikon maybe. There we go, D3100. That's what I used for some of the pictures for the karate thing. So I could go on and on and on for a whole bunch of these because that particular group has a lot of different items in it. So take a look, try to figure out what you used in it. Co-owners who helped me, no one helped me. This is all my stuff. Creative fields. So let's go advertising and photography, because, oh, no, not user design. There we go. Illustration, graphic design. Oh, and it says I can only select up to 3. So you might want to read through them and make sure that the ones that you are choosing is actually the best. I'm actually going to get rid of that one, and I'm going to go, where is it? I just saw it. Where was it? Ah, drawing. That's what it was. Okay. It does not contain adult content, so I don't have to worry about that. I also, all of this is my own stuff, so I don't have to attribute it to anybody. And, okay, display. We're going to display this on Behance, and I like to have people comment on my work when and if they feel that they would like to, so I have not checked this box. Discoverability, this is kind of what I was talking about, where you want to make sure that you're as accessible and discoverable as possible. So product description, variety, whoops, you want to make sure that everything is spelled correctly. Variety of media to showcase work in graphic design portfolio example. Keywords, portfolio, design, whoops, what do I have in there? I have hand drawing, I have a wedding seating chart. You'd be surprised, I once actually had, I was putting something about snake photography. I had taken some photos and I put snakes or ball pythons or something as the keyword, and I ended up with a handful of hobbyists that all of a sudden started following my work. So it doesn't even need to be an art person. So, you know, you can figure out what else, how else you want to feature this. Pop tops, artist, I don't want that one. Eating chart, what else did I put in here? Oh, karate studio, because it was advertising packages. So, you know, just some keywords to try to gain some traffic. Companies, brands, and schools. Sometimes people are in here, sometimes they're not. Let's see, Mendy's Martial Arts. Nah, see, it's a very tiny school, so that's not surprising that they're not in there. Pop Tops obviously is not either. But if you're working for someone big, like, well, actually, let's see if maybe FIFA was in there. No, FIFA's not in there, but Fila is. Yep. And actually, Tiger Woods was one of the things that I did in some of my projects. But none of that's there either. But it can't hurt to spend a little extra time and see if there's anything in there that you would want to make sure that you include. Including any other people or teams that you've worked with, and giving credit to anybody else is also, by giving credit to other people, you're not only making yourself discoverable, but you're also kind of sharing the wealth, and other people, other artists will be more likely to do that for you as well. So now what I have just done is I clicked publish as I was yakking, and up on the screen comes a little link where you can copy this and you can promote it on your Facebook, you can promote it on your Twitter, you can promote it on your Pinterest or your LinkedIn, and I have all of these accounts that are coming up. They're all linked, so they already have my passwords and whatnot set so that I don't have to log in and post these things. It automatically opens it up for me. So that can be very helpful because you are notifying the people that follow you that you have something new, so they'll come look. Okay, I'm not going to do that right now though. So now I've created my project, and if I go back to the beginning, to my profile, you're going to see this brand new project, DES109 Example Portfolio. Okay, and you can edit these once you've decided that, once you're all done. If you decide you don't like the way something looks, if you decide you want to rearrange things, let's say I want to put this one as the second one. I'm going to reorder the project, and this comes up, and I just put it where I wanted to and then hit save. Go back to my profile, and when I scroll down, those karate pictures or the pricing packages are the second one. You also can actually unpublish a project or delete it. Okay, and now it's not located on my homepage anymore, but it is still available. Okay, I'm just trying to remember where it would have been. Collections, my first collection, nope. Drafts, I believe. Yep, here it is. See, and actually I think this was, see, DES109 example, that was from last mod. So as soon as I want to bring that back, I can go to edit project, continue, and I can republish it. I go through all the steps again, publishing the project, profile, and bingo, here it is. So now I'm actually going to unpublish this for now. I'm going to go back in a little bit later and kind of fix some of that stuff up. If you take a look, you see this is another example of having my watermark on there. Okay, and I do have, let me see, actually I have another, you can see it right up here. So that's my white version. Okay, so it's just something small to try to help you protect yourself. One thing I would actually also try to keep, I'm just trying to make sure that I have all this stuff in here. Where's my Mozilla? There we go. Something that you might want to utilize is a lot of these sites actually have icons that you can download. For example, Behance actually, oh, wait a minute. Nope, that's not it. Behance actually has, where is it? Oh, for goodness sake. Let me see if I can find it actually in here, because I may have actually saved it in here so that I didn't have to worry about, no, I guess not. So, excuse me, I know the dribble one I have though. Dribble icon. There we go. See, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to put that in my folder here, so I have it for next time. So now Dribbble here has these downloads of their logo that you can use in various other media. If you're going to use it in print, if you're going to use it on your website, these are a great way to kind of help direct to and from your different sites. So I have my website, where did it go again? My actual website, you can see in my menu bar, I have these different logos, which actually, my CoralFlow one, I actually have to change that icon in there because they rebranded since I last did this. My Behance logo. So I have these hyperlinked to go directly to these sites. And this is giving this information because I'm not logged in. My Twitter. Okay, so it's really helpful to be able to kind of go back and forth, especially if you're putting different information up on the different sites, so that it's very easy to go to navigate between the different sites. And I am just trying to see if I can think about anything else that we need to go over today. Oh, actually, yes, this was, I don't know that I posted this, so I'm going to have to see if I posted this in the announcements, because this is a great little article to make sure you prepare your portfolio with some of the best keywords to be able to drive the traffic over to your portfolio. Excuse me. And it kind of gives you a how-to. I just see we have, 1 through 12 here. We have 13 to 26. And these are some great ways at making sure that you're maximizing your keywords and you're not breaking words up that really could be combined, and then you have an extra keyword. So instead of, oh, I don't know. I'm kind of reading through these right here. Like, you could very easily put logo and brand identity all together. So we have, web design studio, web design boutique, web design solutions. These are 3 different ones, but maybe they are going to direct different kinds of traffic. So read through this, and it should really help you kind of gain a little bit more knowledge on how to make how to get the most out of your keywords. So now I think, like I said, oh, you know what? Actually, let's go over the career integration real quick. Now, the career integration quiz, it has just a couple of questions that we're asking about how this particular course kind of integrates into, obviously, your career, and what information and what resources you found were beneficial during this course towards the graphic design industry and hopefully your professional life as a designer. Please do not put generic answers. Unfortunately, if the answers are something that I could apply to any class, such as an economics class or an English class, then it ends up getting docked points. So make sure to be specific where you're talking about either the subject matter or something that you reference, something that you thought was helpful that I maybe mentioned that wasn't part of the readings or the pre-recorded lectures. Something that just indicates to me that you are putting in the 5 minutes for this particular quiz, and that is an indication that you found something beneficial, or that you didn't find something beneficial. If there were, things that you thought we went over that really weren't all that helpful, you can obviously mention that as well. So we have another few minutes here left. Oh, you know what? Actually, one other thing I could go over, which I don't believe I did before. Let's, here we have, oh, the Adobe Portfolio thing too. Oh, I knew that I was missing something. Let me actually do that first. Oops, wait a minute. Okay, that's sign in. So I apologize because it's been a little while since I did this. So I'm just trying to remember where it was. Please work in progress. 2 more. Stock portfolio, here we go. So if you go up to my little blocks here, go to portfolio. This actually can walk you through the process of building your Adobe portfolio, and it's unbelievably easy and automatic. I did this once for one of my classes, And unfortunately, it's already there now, so I can't show you how to get it started. But once it's in here, you know, you can see I have my Adobe Portfolio in here, and I really need to go through it and update it, because it's not going to take a long time, because all of my information is already up here. It's just a matter of customizing it. You'll notice we have my name up here. We have the listing of all of the different projects or albums on the left-hand side with the contact information. Okay, I just need to enter all that information in here. I'm not now. And we have the different settings that I can go through here. I would probably change this right here to PSG 14 so that it matches my Behance. Excuse me. We can upload different images. We have search optimizations. Excuse me. So I would have to actually go through here and edit everything. But then it would be, you know, another additional professional looking site for my use, so that if Behance goes down and CorelFlow goes down and Facebook goes down and my website goes down, although it is likely that if all those things go down, Adobe Portfolio is probably also down as well. But it is very, it is easier to just have that, you know, extra item in there. Oh, I love that. We have Mario in there. Oh, I want to see that person's work now. And these are just the different themes of the different portfolios that you can use. I think I actually, see, my work doesn't really lend itself to something sleek looking like this, because I don't have a lot of dynamic photographs. So I'm going to have to find something that's a little bit different. Maybe something like this. No, I don't want to translate the page. Systems, layers. Yeah, something like this might work for my work. Might be appropriate for my work. Let's do a live example. Use this theme. I think I'm actually already using it, aren't I? Let's see. Use this theme. Oh, so yeah, I must have already been using that theme. Well, so here we go. I mean, this probably is not really what I would like to go through. I feel like some of these images are just way too big. But I'll be able to kind of move through them and try to figure out what is best. And actually, they actually even provide a little bit of information about that particular template. Ideal for photographers. This one is simple and clean with a large header area that allows you to add a splash of color. So this actually is probably really more what I need to work with. I could look a little bit more into this one. A mosaic grid and pages that utilize the full canvas of the screen. So let's take a look and see what this one does. Ooh. So that's kind of neat too, but again, my work is very different, so I end up with some, you know, white space back here unless I maybe crop that. But I don't know. Yeah, see, it looks like I'm going to probably end up cropping all of them. So you can go through each one of these themes and pick something that's yours. This is not part of the assignment. This is something that if you choose to use it, that's wonderful. It's a little bit something extra that you can look into. It is not required for this particular class anyways. So, and going back to Behance just real quick, I'm going to log out because I do want to show you. There we go. I am just going to go to their main page and just show you. They have a tendency, or not have a tendency, they do like to try to provide information or suggestions based on your activity or your work. And then in addition to that, they see that this didn't log it out. it's still noting. It might be because my cache hasn't been cleared. It's still noting or remembering that it's me. So, but it kind of gives, you know, features of other artists, so you can kind of take a look and see what other people have done. This particular item, obviously, is this person's in France, which is just really cool. Oh, and it looks like she did nice. She does a step-by-step. This is a work in progress kind of piece. And she clearly did this in some type of vector program, whether it's Corel or Illustrator or whatnot, but it is absolutely gorgeous. And, oh, and actually it looks like she even maybe has a time-lapse video of it. I won't play this for too long because I know that we're running over, but I'm actually kind of interested to see what she does here now. Yeah, look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So there, you know, these are just some examples of some of the different kinds of resources that you can actually find on here. And follow. See, and I have, some of you might have actually taken any of Ms. McNamara's classes. So she and I have been co-workers for a long time, and she and I already follow each other. So it's a great way to collaborate. I won't take up any more of your time today, folks. I hope that in this mod you've learned, well, a lot. I was going to say something, but I hope you guys have learned something. And whether it's you know, how much you love design, how much design might be a little bit more work than you expected, how design works together. Just to remind you, I have my last multi-session of the mod on Thursday, 12:30 p.m. Mountain Time. Come on in if you need help, you want critiques, shoot me a message if you need help or if you need critiques. And I want to wish everybody a great rest of the mod, and I hope you have a fantastic week.